This NCH City Council meeting started tonight. It is November 1st, 2021. So we will start, as we always do, with our prayer for the NCH City Council. Everyone please rise. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this Council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Help us to do the very best we can with your help and guidance. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Welcome. As we do not have a clerk this evening, does somebody want to volunteer to clerk?
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
from what I understand, I guess last time this happened, one of the city administrator did it when Cheryl was still in position. Is that something that you would be willing to do, Mr. Misby?
I can help, that's for sure.
I mean, if nobody wants to volunteer to do it, then I keep notes, so I'll do it in the interim, but I was looking to see if anybody thought that they...
I'll do it.
Ms. Dukestein? All right, thank you. I'll do all the roles if you just want to take the notes. Does that
Okay.
work?
That's fine.
All right. Thank you. So that will bring us up to roll call. Ms. Dukestein?
Present.
Ms. Blythe?
Here.
Ms. Underwood?
Here.
Mr. Miller-Novak? Ms. Zorb?
Here.
Ms. Hart? No, I'm sorry. Ms. DeWalt switched seats on us, so sorry I hadn't changed that on my paper yet. All right, Ms. DeWald
Here.
and Ms. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Miller-Novak did call me yesterday. He got called out of town.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I move to excuse Mr. Miller-Novak from tonight's meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Underwood. Second by Ms. Anderson to excuse Mr. Miller-Novak from tonight's meeting. Any discussion? Okay, I will call the roll. Ms. Dukestein?
Here.
Try that again.
I mean, yes.
Thank you.
I can't do two things at once.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. All right, you have tonight's agenda in front of you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move to adopt tonight's agenda.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Zorb to adopt tonight's agenda. Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Yes.
And Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
I'm sorry. Can you tell me who motioned to excuse Novak?
I did.
Ms. Underwood,
Okay.
Ms. Anderson, second.
I can make you copies of all of this if that helps when we're done,
I was just still trying to.
because I do keep track of all these. And if you need me to stop, just tell me to stop. All right, we have meeting minutes from October 18th.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we adopt the meeting minutes or approve the meeting minutes from October 18th.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second.
Motion for Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Anderson, to adopt the meeting minutes from 10/18/2021. Any discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Dukes-Dean?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Because I typed them, I think I should abstain.
Thank you. And Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with an abstain. We did have communications. Ms. DeWald, do you mind just updating that since you were probably taking this in? The communications for tonight?
It is the two mayor's court reports for September, August and September, so that catches us up to date. The last one we had was July. So these reports are due to council every month, but because of the, I guess, the training of the new person, there was a slack of continuance of those reports. So now we're up to date.
Thank you. Any questions regarding communication? All right, that brings us to committee reports, starting with City, Community Development, and Recreation.
Thank you. We have not met since our last council meeting. And the next one is scheduled for next week, Monday, the 8th at 6:30. And that is all.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Is it at 7:30 or 8:30?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30, okay.
All right, Budget and Finance.
Mr. President, in the absence of the president, I will speak up as the vice president.
Thank you, Ms.
Vice
Zorb.
chair, sorry. All wrong titles.
You're all right, you got it.
We did not meet, we have not met since our last council meeting, similar to the previous update, and we will meet, our next meeting is on Monday, the 8th at 7:30. Just as a side note, Mr. Mosby, will we have the budget to look at in that next finance meeting?
You should at that particular time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zorb.
You're very welcome.
Next up, Rules and Public Policy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unfortunately, we were not able to have our meeting last week. Several members were unable to be present, and because of that, we tried to have it, but we didn't have a quorum. So our next meeting will be the fourth Monday of this month at 7:30,
Would be November 22nd.
November 22nd.
Sounds close to Turkey Day.
And what time was that one? I'm sorry.
7:30.
That's the 7:30.
7:30, yes.
I'm hungry already.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Public Safety?
Didn't we just talk about public safety?
No, Rules and Public Policy.
I apologize. Rules and Public Policy meets at 6:30.
6:30. All right, thank you.
I apologize.
Okay.
Public safety, the same thing. We weren't able to meet because we didn't have a quorum. So the next meeting will be on November 22nd at 7:30. I'm sorry, 6:30.
Rules and Public Policy is 6:30
Yes, and public safety is at 7:30. Yes.
on
Just
November
show up at
22nd.
6:30 and stay for an hour or two.
There's the solution right
Or
there. Show up
3.
at 6:30, plan 2 hours.
Or 3.
All right, thank you. Do we have any ad hoc reports tonight?
I do have a report from the NCHCIC. We had a very productive meeting last week on, was it Thursday?
Yeah, it's the third Thursday of October.
Okay, it was Thursday. There were a lot of good ideas about what the NCHCIC could do to help our community. You know, we discussed some of the projects that the CIC has previously been involved in. And several members asked the question if the NCHCIC was similar to 3CDC. And it's exactly similar. It's a nonprofit organization that's, supposed to help the community in those ways. So there was, a lot of brainstorming about what the CIC could do to help the community move forward and fix some of the issues in our community. We met at a building that's been for sale, an office building that's been for sale for quite some time. It's a really beautiful space. So that's all there was. And our next meeting will be on the third Thursday of November. Yes.
Any questions for Ms. Underwood? So it'll be the 18th?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any other ad hoc reports? All right, we will move on to administrator reports. Good evening, Madam Mayor. Floor is
Good
yours.
evening. Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to start out by saying we had trunk or treat on Saturday. Through the cold, it was a little chilly and the drizzle, but we had a nice turnout. I wanted to thank the student leadership team from the high school who came out and set up the games, and I also wanted to thank the police and fire for coming out, passing out candy, allowing the kids to climb into the fire truck. And the police officers did the animal balloons. The DAV came and passed out ice cream. I wanted to thank the board members from the school district who came and passed out candy. And Miss Stewart from the dance studio, she was there passing out candy. I appreciate everything that was done there, and I think the kids had a good time. And the Jambulance guy for coming out as well, which led into Halloween. I drove around the city a little bit as the kids went trick-or-treating, and it was nice to see that people were still giving out candy, because in the past years you didn't see as many. And kudos to the police officers, because they were riding around with their lights on, passing out candy to the kids as well. So that made it a little extra fun, I thought. And I even thought maybe I should go get some candy and pass it out, but I don't want to feel like a creep or anything. So then this Friday, we're supposed to have another food truck Friday here from 4 to 7. Unfortunately, I do not know the names of the trucks this time. This will be our last one until March. I don't think we should do it in December, January, and February because of the weather. So this Friday, right out here, 1500 West Galbraith Road in the parking lot, we'll have, I believe they said 4 or 5 food trucks?
4 trucks. In
4 trucks.
In a tent.
Okay, 4 trucks in a tent this Friday from 4 to 7. We had a really good turnout the last time, and I plan to be here again. And tomorrow's election day, so just be mindful, remind everybody to go out and vote. Then we have our tree lighting on November 27th. We're going to do 5:45 at Perkins. I don't have all the details. We haven't worked out everything, but we do know it'll be that day. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving at 5:45 at Perkins.
What's
I
that
want-
date again? I'm sorry.
November 27th, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
One other thing I had mentioned before, that we were considering changing the business hours here. We looked at the different neighborhoods and saw that we probably are one of the only ones who are still open till 5, and we don't get a whole lot of traffic. So if we do that, that'll be in January. And we're looking at changing the hours to 8 to 4, because we noticed that we got a lot of calls before that 9 o'clock, and then not very many at all after 4. So if that's something that we do, that'll take place beginning in January. Holidays. And that's all I have.
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
I wanted to ask, do you know what forms of payment the food trucks accept?
That's,
Everything.
yeah,
Okay, cash and credit, okay, and check card, okay,
yes.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Next up is the City Administrator's Report. Evening, Mr. Mosby.
Well, good evening, Mr. President, and thank you. I would like to, of course, start off as well and echo the mayor's sentiments about the trunk or treat. I think one of the first things that really got my attention was the anticipation and the participation of so many of the people that came out, the Chamber of Commerce, the fire department, the DAV. I mean, we had a number of groups that were out there, and as one of the members of the chamber had said to me, once you begin, or once you kind of set a track record, people do begin to anticipate it and look forward to it. So I think that is what happened this year, and despite the inclement weather, we had a very, very good turnout. A lot of line dancing, so people had a lot of fun. So I do want to, in that, I want to thank our public works staff as well. They really made sure that we kept the area clean, and it was, and you could tell, and for the most part, I think most of the people were quite orderly. There was one small exception, but the police officers responded to that quickly. So we were grateful for that. The mayor talked about Food Truck Friday. One thing I did want to also mention on the Food Truck Friday is that one of the things that we would like to do is to also encourage those who may own electric vehicles to come out. You can get your car charged right at one of our EV charging stations while you're waiting or eating your food there at the food truck. So I think that for us, it's a great advantage to be able to have those EV charging stations here at the city center. So that's something that we are going to be displaying much more as well. As Ms. Zor had asked, and I did, and right now we are putting the finishing touches on the budget. I'll be discussing that with the mayor, but we definitely anticipate that it should be ready for council to look at or to have before Finance Committee meeting, so they can be discussed at Finance Committee. And again, tomorrow is Election Day for council, and then of course we have our fire levy. I also want to welcome again Mrs. DeWalt back to council. I'm chuckling a little bit because you kind of bounced back and forth. So, but it's good to have you back on council. I also wanted to let people know that the fire department applied in partnership with several other jurisdictions for a grant for the safe house, which we got. So it was brought up to North College Hill last week. I had a chance to go inside, take a look at it. It's a very, very nice simulator. It's really great. It's wonderful for the children to be able to go in. They can see it. A lot of it, of course, now this is the 21st century, so a lot of it is, the technology is there as well. It's very realistic. So there are 5 jurisdictions, I think. So Cincinnati, Deer Park, Silverton, us. Let me see, I think it was Coleraine Township, and there was one more. I can't think of it right off the bat, but basically we will share that. So it hopefully we'll be able to have that for the students probably at least a couple of times a year and perhaps more. So, Mr. President, I think with that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mosby. Anyone have any questions for the administrator?
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
because it was brought up, do we have any clue how much the charging stations, how much we profit from that? When people use them?
So basically what happens is we have a rent that we charge Electrata. So basically that rent equals out to a particular portion. I can't give you an exact dollar amount. It's a percentage of what they earn, basically, off of those. We do get a report. We get a report generally quarterly. I shared the last report with you all, which was back, I believe, in July, which showed, if you remember, I said it showed a 30% increase in usage. I'm kind of smiling because I don't know if we're going to have that big of a jump this time, but we should probably be getting one by this month. But I'll talk to Electrata to make sure.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is the law director's report, and our law director is not with us tonight, which would take us to the finance director's report, and the finance director is not with us tonight. That'll bring us to call of members.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
can I hold you there for a second? I was wondering if we have any update on the search for a finance director.
Not at this moment, no.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I don't have anything.
So yes, call of members, Ms. Dukestein.
Yeah, it's all good. No, wait a minute, let me write my own name. We missed the trunk or treat, but I saw tidbits of it on the live on North College Hill's page. It seemed awesome. My kids are probably looking at me angry. That's all. Oh, and the CIC meeting was amazing. So that is all for me. I'm going to keep it short tonight.
No comment at this time.
Y'all are getting ahead of me. Ms. Blythe has no comment. Next up, Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to say that I'm very sorry that I missed the trunk or treat. I called Mr. Mosby at like 4:30 and was like, hey, nobody's up there. And so 2 of my grandchildren went there at 4:30 because I told them that's what it was. So I'm really sorry that we missed it. I heard that it was really, really nice. We'll make sure we get that fixed and straightened out for next year, for sure. Also, I'm looking forward to this week's Food Truck Friday. Very excited about that. I would also like to remind everyone that tomorrow is Election Day, and there was an election in recent memory that was decided by less than 50 votes for actually one of the judicial positions, a countywide judicial position. So, every vote does count. We have some very important things on the ballot. So just remind everyone just to go out and vote. It's very important. And I would like to say welcome to Ms. DeWald as she switches seats from over there to over here as a member of council. And probably she won't even get to talk as much because she's sitting on this side. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Ms. Zorb.
I don't think I have anything either, other than welcome back. Should we start singing? Mr.
No.
Cotter? I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. DeWald.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have to say it is an honor and a pleasure to be in this seat again. Mayor Nichols will attest to the fact that it's really a rare opportunity to be able to sit and take part in so many parts of our government. But this is home. This is where I feel the most comfortable, so I am appreciative of the opportunity to be here. Also, I would have some new agendas I would add to the new or old business regarding committee assignments.
Okay. We'll do that in old business. And for the record, you did a very good job over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you.
now I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Big shoes to fill.
Ms. Anderson.
Well, happy late Halloween and happy Day of the Dead.
Mhm.
So that's one of my favorite holidays, if you can't tell by my shirt. We read a couple books about it at school. It's a good day. I would also just like to remind people that the election's tomorrow and the very important fire levy's on there. And doesn't matter what side you're on or what you think if you don't go out and vote. So just wanted to remind everybody to do that, and that's all.
Mr. President,
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Mr. Mosby.
I have to apologize again, but I was almost remiss in mentioning one very important thing. The Tree for Me program has received 10 free trees, and these are for North College Hill residents who had reserved a tree. Pickup will be this Saturday, November the 6th, at Mount Healthy Park. Let's
Excuse me,
see.
did you say reserve a tree?
Yeah, it's called the Tree for Me program. It's a partnership with Ncaa, Taking Root, Duke Energy Foundation, and NATORP. And so, let's see. The only other reminder on that is, let's see, those receiving trees should call 811 to check for underground lines and pipes before planting. And then Public Works, our Public Works Department, asked that the trees not be planted in the easements, so as they could interfere with the power lines. So, and then I don't know if people are aware of this, but as those trees grow and they grow up into the wires, Duke has to come by and cut them, but every time they cut them, they damage the trees, and so eventually, after several years, they're gonna have to come down, and I know that because our tree was one of those that unfortunately had to come down. So, I just wanted to make sure that all of those who had reserved a tree heard that over tonight's meeting. Thank you, Mr. President.
And you said that was Saturday, November 6th, Mount Healthy Park at what time? Does it say?
I didn't say a time.
Yeah, you didn't, so
I
that's
didn't.
why I'm asking.
However, all of those have been notified by email.
Okay,
So
thank you.
there you go.
Clearly, I didn't reserve a tree.
Nor I.
I don't like trees.
All right, thank you for remembering that, Mr. Mosby. All right, that brings us to remarks from the audience. Do we have any audience members sign in?
Oh, I forgot to put the sheet out. I've got one if you need one.
Did anybody want to sign in?
Oh, boy.
You are the only
Can you
one here.
please step to the podium?
Yeah,
please,
go
sir? Or
go ahead.
excuse
It's not a podium.
I know, right after it came out
I
of my
can't remember what it is,
mouth.
but
Lectern.
lectern, yes, that's the lectern. Go ahead, sir. Please state your name and your address.
On it.
Jim DeWald, 6714 Jaymore. I didn't know I was going to talk. I just wanted to congratulate my wife This is the fifth time that she's on council. The first time she was appointed. In 1990, when her elected. First time you were appointed to council. The other 4 times you were elected.
Oh, this is the first time I was appointed.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when you get home. Anyhow, her first time on council was 1990. Her and the former mayor, Mason, were elected together. There were 15 people that ran, 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans, and 1 independent. And she ran with the Democratic Party, and she was the top vote getter. For the first 3 elections, she was the top vote getter. She doesn't talk much about that, but I like to. So, but I just want to congratulate her for being there again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeWald.
Oh, that was.
Thanks for letting her out of the house, Jim.
All right, that will bring us to legislation. First item of legislation is a second reading for Resolution 29-2021, a resolution to certify assessments to the county auditor for placement on the tax duplicate. This is for tall grass and trash removal.
I have can you please slow down with that, because I usually look at mine electronically and it's hard for me to toggle back and forth and type, please. Or can you say it one more time?
Yes, so it's a second reading. Resolution 29-2021. It's a resolution to certify assessments
There's no reason.
to the county auditor for placement on the tax duplicate.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Does that help too?
Yes.
I was just about to give you my computer.
and again, this is tall grass and trash removal. Do you need me to wait?
No.
Okay. Second item of legislation is a second reading also. This is ordinance 7-2021, an ordinance making additional appropriations. And the third item of legislation is also a second reading. It is ordinance 8-2021, an ordinance authorizing an agreement between the City of North College Hill and the Board of Hamilton County Commissioners relative to the improvement of Hamilton Avenue. Next on the agenda, further remarks from the audience? And I see none. That will take us to old business. DeWald?
Mr. President, I know that people have struggled with the OKI, and I applaud Ms. Anderson for just last meeting stepping up to take that position. But because I'm the only retired one here, I'm thinking maybe I should try to do the OKI, to be that representative, with Ms. Underwood stepping down from the senior center. I've already spoke with Brandy, and she said she would talk it over with the board to implement me in that spot, so they're gonna maybe deal with me again. So I'm gonna put myself in that spot. I don't see the board saying no, because nobody's beating the door down on council. They have to have a representative. And then the other open spot was the Rita delegate. I don't know what that requires, but I don't ever remember a meeting being discussed for the Rita delegate. So I will probably jump into that position as well then.
And correct me, Mr. Mosby, unless I'm wrong, but Rita only meets when they have to, correct? Or is it once a year?
I know that they have a meeting at least, once a year.
Okay.
I didn't get a lot of the correspondence, but I do know that there are some, sometimes there are some matters that would need our input. So that would be helpful.
Ms. Anderson, you just became our OKI rep.
Oh, I'm so sad. I have to step down. I will willingly give it to her. If somebody can make it, that would be awesome. So I will willingly
Just wanna
step
make sure.
down.
How about if I make it official?
I would appreciate that.
Thank you. So I would like to make a motion to appoint Miss Mary Dewald as our OKI representative, as our North College Hills Senior Center Board representative, and as our RETA delegate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion made by Ms. Zorb to appoint Ms. Mary Dewald as the OKI member, Senior Center member, and RETA delegate. Did I get that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson. Any discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Any other old business?
Do you have, which committees are you picking? Committees?
Oh, okay, I've just been reminded that I need to put myself on some committees. So let's just do finance and recreation at this point.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll move to appoint Ms. Dewald to the Finance and Budget and Finance Committee and City Community Development and Recreation Committee. I was trying to say it slow.
I'll second that. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
it just occurred to me, as a point of order, are we allowed to have all 7 council members on committees? Does anyone
Mr.
know that?
President,
Ms. Underwood?
it's happened the entire year, actually.
Has it? Okay.
Yes, we have had.
On the Budget and Finance Committee, all 7 members are on that committee
All right.
and have been all year.
All year when we've had 7.
Right,
Any other discussion?
she said.
All right, the motion is to appoint Ms. DeWald to Budget and Finance and City Community Development and Recreation. Motion was made by Ms. Anderson, seconded by Ms. Dukestein. I'll call the roll. Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Any other old business?
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
so I have a question for Mr. Mosby. I know I had asked previously for the contract between North College Hill and Mount Healthy for the street sweeper. I was wondering if that could please be sent. And additionally, I had asked if there was a schedule for the street sweeper. Has that been created?
We don't, we have a schedule that we use to clean the streets at various times. We don't have a quote-unquote written schedule where this street, we don't do that. But we make sure that it gets out to get to the.
I'm just curious because I haven't seen them at all over in my quad. I've never seen, since we've purchased this new street sweeper, there's never been street sweeping signs go up in my quadrant.
They don't need to, Ms. Zor, because the fact that we own it, if the street sweeper is going down the street and for some reason there are cars, they can come back at a later time. The reason that we did that in the past was because when we were renting the street sweeper, we only had it for a limited period of time. And so we only did one quadrant at a time. if we did that quadrant, we had to make sure that all the cars were off the street. This way, it doesn't have to be as big an inconvenience to residents there now, so we don't have to necessarily move cars.
But I'll also point out that it's very evident when the street sweeper does come down your street, because you can tell with swirl marks, and it hasn't been down my street. So I'm wondering when that's going to happen, and that's why I was looking for a schedule.
Okay?
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
I wanted to, regarding the signs for the street sweeper, I think it still would be good if you did put up the signs, because you'd get more participation out of people moving their cars. You know what I mean? The sweep that you do, if you do tell people to, move their car at a certain time, then you'll get more of the surface area of the street done. Even though you're not in a rush or you're pressed for money or time, I think that might be a good idea to keep that method.
Keep that in mind, thank you.
It runs on, I guess, gas, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, so it would just, if you put the signs up, every sweep would be more beneficial, Because I know, well, if I saw the sign, I would, I move my car. Not everybody does, but that make it more worth your while in labor and time. Yeah.
Okay, any other old business? Then we'll move to new business. Any new business?
Mr. President. Oh, no, you go ahead, please. I take it back. All hers.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. DeWald. Second by Ms. Anderson to adjourn. Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. DeWald?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. This meeting is adjourned.